In the latest episode of The Amazing Race, the teams competed in part two of the Vietnam Mega Leg. And joining me now is last place team, Jocelyn and Victor. Guys, how are you? How are you feeling after watching back last night's episode?
We almost didn't want to watch it. We had to finish watching it this morning. It was so painful.
I think it was a little bit of mixed emotion because at first, like we're a little sad that it ended, and then
A little sad. I'm still crying. I'm sorry. It's been months and I'm still crying every day thinking about it.
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
was
absolutely.
a wonderful experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Now, you guys really were a strong team, which we'll get into in a second. But I want to know, is there any specific kind of preparation that you all did ahead of filming?
Yeah, just working every day, working in a grocery store. As you can see, all those different skills, came to. I mean, it was just felt like so many of these were made for us. All the different challenges, everything. It's stuff that we do every day.
Yeah, I think packing out a backpack was another special little thing that we did because we really wanted to just have one backpack and then just going through the process of eliminating. Okay, do we really need this? And down to the everything's being weighted. Okay, which towel is the lightest, or which pill bottles do we bring? And then so we can pack everything very compact in one bag. And I think the takeaway from the Amazing Race is you don't really need a lot to have a great time. And then so I think for all of those out there, there are a lot of stuff to be learned to be on the Amazing Race and to really appreciate each other and to have a great time. And so so I think we had a wonderful time being on the Amazing Race, even though it was a short period of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you just touched on this a little briefly, but you guys kind of in the episodes alluded while being in Thailand and Vietnam to kind of having ties back to some family history, as well as kind of like relatability to jobs back home. So what did that mean to you to be able to compete in those specific places? And then also, what was it like to kind of have maybe that former expertise on some of these things?
I think in Thailand it was more of I don't want to shame my family or my anybody I know by being the first out in Thailand, especially exactly. Having that language of advantage. I'm not fluent in Thai by any stretch of the imagination, but it was enough, right, to help us get to the front. And so it was really, it's like we know all these other teams are younger, they're stronger. We just have to maintain as much of a lead as we could. And then, to find out that in Vietnam, it's going to be pretty much a choke point. Everybody's going to be bunched up. That was hard to take. That really was.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. The first few legs of the season, you guys absolutely crushed it. You get first place back to back on the first and second legs. Did you ever have like any small idea ahead of filming that you guys would do that well from the jump?
No, I think
we were hopeful. I think we were kind of confident just from in the sense of knowledge-wise.
I think knowing we had one backpack, whereas some of these teams, Liam and Jeremy had 60-pound packs apiece.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, okay, maybe this will help us. And so we kind of thought we'd do well, but I think the main goal was, not come in last on the very first leg. And let's just see where it takes us.
Forward. Yeah, little by little, and ultimately hopefully get to the last 30.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, unfortunately, you guys did kind of go from the top of the pack to the bottom of the pack. So what do you kind of feel like led to your downfall and then ultimately not being able to get back up to even the middle or top of the pack?
I think that day was Victor's dress code. He was wearing shorts that day.
I wore shorts. I almost never wear shorts in real life. And that day I was thinking, we're going to be on a boat. They're probably going to make me jump off. So I don't want to wear my pants and have them be wet. Right. So I wore shorts that day. But I think it was really the boat because our boat captain was super efficient. But so we unloaded
the spring roll.
Well, we unloaded the first two, types of fruit. But the last one, it was another choke point because there were 4 or 5 boats there at the same time. We had to wait for other people to offload there. So that was easily, 30 minutes that we lost there. And then the spring rolls, we still can't fix. We've watched that whole sequence so many times. We don't know.
I think we relive that moment over and
every
over
day.
again.
It's like we don't know what that judge wanted. We still don't. Maybe we had to have a song and dance to accompany it. That's what
Yeah, it's challenging, you guys. It's really tricky, and I want you to walk me through now that very last part of your time on the race, where you had to match the picture, if you will, with the actual tile. So, how frustrating was that? And walk me through kind of that feeling of you get to the mat. Jeff does tell you Phil tells you you're in last, and like just processing all of that.
It was hard because going into it, I think I called for a check on my third tile, and the judge's face was like, there's absolutely no way he got this. And like he, whipped out his paper just to make sure. And it's like, of course, it wasn't that easy. But I was just trying to be meticulous and keep a cool and calm head, knowing that if I just do it meticulously and methodically, I can get through it. But I think you can kind of hear it when I said, oh, there are paint splotches on here that weren't on the picture. And that's kind of what threw me off. So maybe I had seen it before, maybe I missed it, but I found it by 2 little dots of dirt in the upper left-hand corner. That's what keyed me in, because there were other tiles that looked like that. It wasn't my tile. So it took a long time. And it was hard, especially when it was just me and Lena, and then Lena got it. And I was just thinking, okay, they can't let me stay out here for another 5 hours. I'm just going to call for it. They didn't pass me, they didn't pass me on a second check on a random tile. It's like, they really want me to find this thing. So I guess I have to find it. So.
Yeah. Now tell me too. So one of my favorite things that was said in the episode was at the end where they show that you guys do, finish the leg, go to the mat, whatever. But you guys say something that I think is really important, which is that you wanted to finish strong to show your daughters that you don't quit. Why was that so important to you?
I think part of us coming to the race was because of our girls, and then because our oldest, Alexis, she helped us apply, and then really got us into this. And then I think it's a good way for us to, I think any parents coming on the show want to set a good example, and then us too. So we wanted to finish coming in strong,
It's just a perseverance, right? In life, you don't give up, and even though we didn't win the amazing race, I mean, we're still not going to give up, and we're just going to keep at it. So I think that's kind of message, that any parent wants to send to their children.
Yeah. To make
sure.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I have to know, if the offer was ever put out there to you all to return to the race again, would you consider going back and racing around the world?
We're ready to go tomorrow.
Yes. Well, hopefully we'll see you again. My final question for you guys, simple. What was your favorite part about doing this experience together? What'd you just really love about being able to compete as a married couple on The Amazing Race?
I think my favorite part is really, just to have our opportunity to hang out with Victor, because I think it really helped us go through this whole process, help change our dynamic a little bit. And because we were being in the business for so long, it's been really, really tough to just be us. And then so being on the race, it's just the two of us. It's such a surreal moment. Just, wow, I have to see you 24/7, but in a positive light. I actually like you, and like you're helpful, and you're making a difference.
It was seriously the first time in 20 years that we've had, as crazy as it was still a vacation for us.
Yeah.
Because in 20 years we've never been able to go anywhere without our phones, without staff calling. Yeah. So in this, we had no choice. Yeah. We could only focus on each other, and that was so awesome, very therapeutic. And
but Amazing Race is such a surreal, it's just a wonderful experience. And I really have to say the crew that show us the way, that our TV crew was just amazing, because they were so fit, so athletic. They had to run ahead of us. And everything they had to do. I mean, Team Badger, you guys are awesome. We love you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is our first time ever being on the show, and they were just fabulous. And I didn't even realize there was a camera or microphone next to us during this whole entire time. It was just the two of us doing these challenges and having a great time, and the opportunity to see Phil and see him in action and working. It's like, oh, this is what a host does. And he prepped practice. He has to repeat his lines, and he's a very caring person. So it's just all those things that you don't see that you get to experience. It's really awesome.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys, if no one else tells you, I want to speak on behalf of the audience and say we loved watching you this season. You were a great team. We hope to see you again. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to speak with me. And for all of our viewers, Amazing Race, brand new episodes Wednesdays on CBS. Don't miss them.
Thank you.
Thank you.